We're now recording. So, welcome to our weekly Sunday breakdown of the markets. This week is currently August 29th. So, this is the week of August 29th. So, we actually have 2 more days left in our monthly candle at this point. You know, we didn't break the lows of the previous monthly. So, I mean, that's pretty good for bulls in the market. It gives me like a certain confidence to look for buys, even continuing the next month. Also, we were able to close above this level of support and resistance right here. So at the end of the day, as long as we were able to get above here, that was a previous monthly reversal zone, you know, it tells us that pretty much we can still continue to go bullish. As long as we don't close below here, 15800, Gucci. So, let's go down to the weekly. On the weekly, we had like a massive bearish drop recently, and it went all the way to 149, which is crazy. Excuse me. So we literally melted over 300 pips almost in less than 7 days. So that's pretty crazy. But it was clearly a fake out because it came right back up the next week. So I mean, most likely what we are going to get this week is that we are going to get continuation, at least most likely to 151,500. And then, potentially if we do continue to move bullish, then, we could potentially see 152,900. We just have to worry about this 8 SMA right here. Once we get through this 8 SMA, we should be Gucci. We just got to worry about this little level right here, 151,500 key level. So this will be our major key level for this week, pretty much. We just got to be very aware of it. Besides that, once we do get above this level, it's clear traffic all the way back to 152,800 at least. So I am potentially looking for buys this week. However, if we do start continuing to go bearish, because we did go bearish for a little bit, if we do start going bearish because we do have a daily fib short as well, then, potentially we could go short. So if we break these daily lows or we start breaking the body of this daily, then I'll consider shorts. But until then, I'm looking for buys all the way. And most likely what I am expecting on this daily is to just wick fill at least 151,500. And if we are able to break 151,500, then you know what, we could potentially see 153. Like I said, the only thing is we have this 8 SMA right here, and then now we have the 50 SMA over here. So once we do break this 8 SMA, then we got to worry about this SMA over here. So, just have those levels marked out just so that you guys know where we are, to be very aware of those levels, because you're not going to be looking at the higher time frames once you are scalping or day trading. Most of the time I only look at my monthly and my weekly like once, maybe 2-3 times a week max. Like I'm not looking at it consistently. Now on the 4-hour, we are making new higher highs and higher lows. So I mean, it does give me a nice little bullish confirmation for buys. So as long as we are able to stay above these SMAs and we are most like and we break 151 like 300, then most likely for London session we will be taking buys. And I would like to see like a nice little bullish close on this 4-hour candle in the next 3 hours. So I mean, let's see what happens with that. If we do get a nice little bullish close and then we get a nice candle confirmation, London session will be nice and clean. Buys potentially to correct this whole move to the downside that we had right here to go right back up, at least, like I said, to 153. So, potentially we could have this move right here happen. Yes, the only thing is that the 4-hour hasn't made a new high, but it doesn't matter because we are making higher highs and higher lows. So until we break and we make a new lower low and then a lower high and then a lower low, then we're not bearish. So as long as we respect lows, which we did, right? If you guys see reading clear market structure, you have a higher high, then you have a higher low, then you have another higher high, you have another higher low. Now, potentially, this could be a pause candle, right? Just because it's bearish doesn't mean anything, right? This candle could still flip bullish and continue to fly. You just don't know yet what's going to happen. However, like I said, it would be very nice if this candle closed bullish. That would be very nice, right? That would incline for me to look for buys a little bit earlier in the night, actually, potentially, because then what is that going to tell me? Most likely the next 4-hour candle will be a confirmation for a candle confirmation, which will at least give me like 20-30 pips. excuse me. So for GJ buys at least probably to 153 this week. Mind you, we also are going to be starting a new month. So we could have the monthly lows before the highs. Potentially we could have a little bearish. But if we don't, and we just make a little wick on the monthly, and then we just start flying, then, at that point, then 153 easily by the end of this week. And then for EJ, EJ is pretty much on the same thing. Oh, where's EJ? EJ is pretty much on the same thing, right? So the only thing that I don't like about EJ is that we are below this monthly 8 SMA. That's the only thing I don't like about it, right? So on EJ, the only thing is we are on a monthly fib, right? So if you guys see, the SMA's cross right here, new higher highs were made. So what are we going to have? A higher low, right? Fib right here with the daily and confluence. Look at the daily. So if you guys see the daily, we had a nice little bullish engulfing candle confirmation, closed above the 8 SMA. The next candle came, retested the 8 SMA, and the next candle what? Flew. So what is that going to tell you? At that point, we're bullish. So now the 38, which is a level that we use as support and resistance, then you go to, excuse me, somebody fucking message me, fuck with my head. Now that we broke above this level of support and resistance, which is the 38, usually on fib, now we could potentially see continuation for longs. So we had a bearish day, just like a little break and retest of this level, because this was a major level of support and resistance. Well, that's what fib levels sometimes are levels of support and resistance. So you got to have in mind that we could have a break and a retest continuation. So at least, for EJ, I am looking for buys as well, which is good, because if I'm looking for buys on EJ and GJ, that's kind of like a nice little confluence as well. They're correlating pairs. So at least to this 50 SMA for 60 pips would be nice. But if we don't get that, then excuse me. Then when we do get that, potentially we could see 132. 132 would be like my main target by the end of this week, easily. It's like 250 pips. But mind you, it will be a brand new monthly candle. So potentially we could have very, very strong momentum. Also, we are going to have high impact news always at the beginning of the month. So now that we have cleared for GJ and EJ, do you guys have any questions for me? I'm going to stop the recording now.